Hey guys, this is Ryan from Spyker Workshop, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to connect our snowblower to a Kyosho Blizzard FR, and in this we're going to be showing you how to do the front mount. There'll be more videos of how to do the rear and wiring posted soon also. So to get started, the first thing I want to do is open your Blizzard up, and we need to get at the front mount here. I start by taking off the tracks. I find the easiest way to do that is to remove the wheel from the back. Just one screw for that one. And then the track easily comes off. I'll do that to the other side too. Once you've removed the tracks, next thing we'll do is we'll take off the linkage that runs from the servo to this little post here. So I'll start by just unscrewing it from the servo. And then for the post, there's a screw on the outside here. And it might actually twist in there on you. I'll just use a wrench on the inside. And try to keep the screws, with each thing you take out, because most of them will put right back in the same spot. Then we'll want to remove basically all these screws here. Yeah, all these ones I'm pointing to here. And these two, and on both sides. Actually, it looks like you only needed to remove that one screw there. You didn't need to remove the other one, like I just said. But I got the screws here that I removed. So then you want to take this faceplate here, just kind of slides out. And this we can set aside, as we won't be using it really anymore. So the first step then would be to, as it shows in the manual here, insert the parts like that. So what I do is I'll take these kind of angle bracket things and kind of curve them around that part, so they're like that in here. And then we'll put the orange part in the middle. And then we'll need four number 4 screws by 1/2 inch. These ones here. And so there's how the one looks on this side here. Then I'll skip ahead and I'll put in the other 4 screws and show you in a second. So here's what those look like after they're screwed in. You got 2 of them here and 2 on the other side. And they should go through the orange plate there. Should look like this on the bottom, basically. And then the next step, there's kind of like an optional step that I didn't really put in the manual, but some people have this extra aluminum bar in the inside. If it's up to you if you want to do this, but you could drill a hole in these black parts that are wide enough to put this through there. I'm really not sure what the purpose of this bar is, so I typically don't use it. But if you don't use that bar, then you'll want to put in the screws that it shows in my instruction manual. The 440 pan 1/2 inch with washers and lock nut on the inside. Just kind of gives it more strength to the front mount. And you want to do that the same on both sides. Next, we're going to take the really long sheet metal screw with a washer on it and then put it through the disc. Do that to 2 of them. And then you'll take this part and make sure that the hole that's inset in there faces outwards, and then this part will be on the inside of that, so it'll be on there like this basically. And then we'll take this beam, it's like a hex shaped beam, that goes on the inside, and then the screw goes all the way through all that. There's kind of a close-up of the whole assembly there. And then it's the same on the other side. Then once you have both sides tightened down, just make sure that that hole faces outwards on both sides. And then you'll want to make sure you don't tighten them too tight. You want to actually leave them loose enough so they can be moved easily, because this is what actually lifts up and down the snowblower. We'll take this part next, and you'll notice that the top is slanted on one direction, so there is a wrong way to put this in. The way you want to do it is, if you imagine when it's up, or when it's screwed in, when it's up like this, you'll see that that flat spot on top is kind of level with the blizzard, so that's how it should go in there. And then we'll use the number 6 sheet metal screw, 1/2 inch long, and it goes into the lower hole, and then the head will get sunk all the way into that pocket on that black part, and then it's the same on the other side. So once you have that screwed together, this is how the front mount should look so far. And this should be loose enough where it can easily be brought up and down. So our next step then is to start working on the actual linkage that will lift the blower up and down. So what you want to do is take out this screw from this linkage, and then you'll want to pry off this ring. Careful with these because they typically can go flying across the room. But normally a wrench should be enough to get it out of there. So once you have this piece removed, then we'll want to look at our chart here, and there's 2 rods that you have to bend. It's L4 and L1. If you look on the next page down, these are actual 2 size, like to scale. So within the front mount kit, you get this assortment of stuff. This will make up the L1 linkage. So what you need to do with these is take the ball joint, just kind of set it on there, and then use a pliers to kind of pop it in place while you push up. And normally it pops in there. There it goes. Then you want to do that to the other one too. And then we'll take the rod, and you basically you'll twist these on until it matches that diagram on L1, and then you'll also put that bend into it. You can use just 2 pliers. So here I have all the rods bent, and you don't have to be really exact. This is just kind of a guideline. Like, here's how close I got this one here. Same with the large one. Take this weird looking orange piece here, and that large hole on the bottom. You'll want to have the large end of this aluminum post on the flat side of this, and have the front edge where this kind of, I don't know what to call it, like a bevel edge is. That's where you want that. And then you'll put that pin back in here. So once you have the pin installed on that, then we'll want to take this bar on this side of this thing. We'll screw this top one in here like that, And then we'll also take the 3/4 inch pan head through here, and we'll screw that into the other side, but on the very bottom. So this one goes on the bottom, and then this one goes on the top on the other side. So here's what it should look like when it's all done. And I found that these screws with the ball in them can be a little bit hard to get through there. You might even want to widen out the drill size hole a little. But yeah, this is what it should look like. And then we are ready to install it in here. So this was the screw that originally came out of here. We'll be using it in a second. So what you want to do is this small rod, you'll want to feed out through that hole in the front. And then we'll take that screw and screw that post back in. So then, to screw this together, we'll use the longer 440 machine screw here with a nut on the bottom. You can see the way that we did the linkage there. The reason we put this one on the top is because it gives a lot more torque to the lower arm here. Less travel movement, but when you lift the snowblower up and down, you don't really need all that much travel. So now you can see exactly how that works there. So the next thing we'll have to do is the actual servo linkage. The stock servo that comes with the Blizzard is probably not going to be enough power to actually lift up the snowblower. You can give it a shot, but if you ordered the electronics kit with your snowblower from me, you got one of these with it. And this is a very strong, I believe it's 10 or 12 kg lifting power, all metal geared servo. So we're going to replace the stock servo with this. So here I have the new servo installed. The stock speed controllers that come with the Blizzard, they're BEC, which is what takes the battery voltage in and then sends power out through the receiver to the servos. They're not very powerful, so I would not recommend running this servo off of these speed controllers. I'll have another video specifically about wiring, but for now, basically what you should do is I actually already opened this up and removed the stock receiver from this because on my website it shows you need at least a 5-channel radio, which I'll actually be selling soon. What I put in here is a modified 9X radio, and this is its receiver. So I would start by basically unplugging the speed controllers completely, and then watch my wiring video once that's up. But for now, just so we can set up the front mount kit, I think I'm using this on channel 3, the lifting servo. For now, we'll just connect it straight to a little battery pack, so we don't have to worry about the speed controller power. But turn your radio on. And then we'll plug in the battery. And then on this 9X radio, if you were to order one of these from me, it will come pre-flashed with a specific firmware that's like much more powerful at doing custom stuff, such as mixing tank steering on one stick. But for this, I use the lifting servo on mine on the throttle stick that holds its position. So what you'll want to do to get the front mount basically set up correctly is bring it all the way up as far as it can, and then with your servo you want to bring it all the way towards the back as far as it can, and then you'll want to put the actual servo horn on the servo. It looks like that piece is slightly in the way. Quick, remove that. I don't think the SR has that piece, but not a big deal. And then if you can't get it on there, you might want to just adjust the servo just a little bit to line it up with the grooves. There we go. But the Blizzard horn or servo arm does fit the servos that I ship with the electronics kit. And let's see, that might be... Yeah, that should work. Let's see. So then, what we'll want to do is actually hook up the snowblower to see if it is set up good enough. So here I have the snowblower, and I put the tracks back on the Blizzard. So the way that we connect it is this curved part basically fits in between that black disc on each side. Just like that. And then we'll take the 3/4 inch number 6 sheet metal screw on both sides. And then we need to see, it actually looks like that linkage is not set up correctly enough yet. So what we gotta do is make it lower down more. Let's see. I think maybe we should have had this on the other side. Yeah, let's go ahead and flip the servo around so we move the whole linkage back. Sorry about that. So I have the servo flipped back around, and we'll have to do the same thing while the servo's powered on. Actually, this time we'll do the opposite of what I just told you. We'll bring it down basically to the snowblower, or a little bit farther like this, and then we'll connect it. Actually, it looks like we need a little bit more reach. In order to get more reach on this, you want to unscrew it a little bit, both unscrewing this one and then spinning the whole bar to unscrew this one. This will take a little bit of playing around with just to get the linkage set up right, because I mean there's so many adjustment points on this thing. If you find that it can't even push it down far enough, you also have the option of moving the linkage right here. You can move it up 1 bar, or this one down 1 bar, and that would give it more throw forward. But let me unscrew this some more here. And try not to go too much, because then it might come out of the rod. So this is looking close. I think I need to take one of these off and then unscrew that to give this arm some more reach. So let me do that really quick. So let's see if this linkage is a little bit better. It looks a little better. So we can go ahead and line that up with that there. And then we'll use those screws here. And this, you want to make sure the snowblower is in the bracket at the bottom. And then that screws in all the way on both sides. So now I have the snowblower attached. So now we can go ahead and test to see just how good our linkage is set up. So you want to see if it can push it down far enough into the ground. You want the front end to lift up just a little bit, just like that. And then you'll want to see if it can pick it up in the air enough, which this is pretty good. It's about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch it can lift up in the air. And then you'll notice when you use the front mount, this is one of the disadvantages of it, is that the whole snowcat tends to tilt inwards. The way that I had dealt with that on mine was I put 2 big batteries in the back. I actually made mine sit way back, and I had 2 lipos. But I'll be selling something soon. It's like a battery box that you can attach onto the rear mount, and then that'll kind of offset the weight like that. But as it is now, this would work outside. It lifts it up in the air enough so you could, spin it around. But you can also play with it a little more if you wanted to get it to lift up in the air more. One thing you could do is move this linkage up, because that would give it more pull backwards, but then it might need a lot more torque. But once you have the linkage where you want, then finish screwing it all together. And then the front mount still supports all the bodies and stuff above it, and this cover in here too. So I think that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys had any more questions on this, because it is a little bit tricky to set up. And then make sure to stay tuned for my electronics wiring video. I'll go into a lot more in-depth details about all the internals of this thing. So thanks for watching, guys.